I'm Andrea Mitchell in New York. Tonight, North Korea is just one of the global flashpoints the president is facing. Take Iran. The U.S. has sent the USS Lincoln aircraft carrier along with B-52s to the region. U.S. officials tell NBC News they had intelligence. Iran gave its proxies a green light to attack U.S. forces.
We have information that you don't want to know about. They were very threatening.
A charge Iran's UN ambassador denied, telling us,
"We do not accept such an allegation, and all these are fake intelligence."
The escalating tensions after the U.S. pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal last year and then ramped up sanctions, last week demanding a global embargo on Iranian oil. Iran now threatening to resume building a nuclear reactor and increase stockpiles of uranium.
What I'd like to see with Iran, I'd like to see them call me.
Then there's Venezuela, where the U.S.-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido's attempt to oust strongman Nicolas Maduro has so far failed, a strategy pushed by National Security Advisor John Bolton.
He has strong views on things, but that's okay. I actually temper John, which is pretty amazing. And I have John Bolton, and I have other people that are a little more dovish than him. And ultimately, I make the decision.
And Andrea is here with us now, a lot on the stove here. Andrea, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, just issued a very sharp warning to Iran. What does this mean?
He is emphasizing that any attack by Iranian proxies against American interests will be considered an attack by Iran, and the U.S. will retaliate against Iran. Democratic senators say that the Iran policy is pulling us into an unnecessary war with Iran. And one analyst said tonight that if there's a doomsday clock for a war with Iran, it just ticked 1 minute closer to midnight.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.